Thanks for checking in on the State of Basketball Podcast, episode 106. I'm Adam Miller, and I'm here with Jaren Will each and every week, and we are going to be bringing you the news and notes on all 11 Division I schools in the state of Indiana, because in 49 states,
it's just basketball.
I apologize for the couple of weeks off. Had some bad weather, and then my family was sick, and then we weren't going to be recording or doing anything last week because it was a Sunday. Well, my anniversary was a Sunday, so
I was like, well, every episode
every episode
is
is Sunday, but that one specifically fell on my anniversary, so that one wasn't going to happen. But now we're back. Going to be just a little bit different this week. For one, if we were recapping last week, we would be talking about 3 games that all happened 6 days ago.
Yeah.
So instead of doing that, we're just going to kind of talk about the season so far. So almost all of the non-conference games are finished. I think Ball State has one upcoming this week. They've obviously got the return game for the MAC Sun Belt Challenge, and there might be like one other team, but I think pretty much everyone else is moving into conference this week. I mean, we've got teams playing as many as 3 conference games this week, so pretty much conference play from here on out for like 99% of the rest of the next of the games remaining are conference games until the tournament starts. So we're going to kind of talk about what has happened so far this season. Did teams meet our expectations, or were we too high, too low, or on those teams, or what? So that's kind of our plan.
Yeah, we really felt it right. You know, the new year is this coming week. And we felt this was a good opportunity just to really, reflect, like Adam mentioned, and look back. It's like, okay, these are the things that we said we thought would happen in the non-con. These are the things that, the goals that we set for these teams, mostly pertaining to record. We wanted to kind of revisit that and just see, like, as a baseline, right? Figure out, okay, what do these teams need to do in the, the heat of the conference season to both meet the goals that we set for them, but also just the goals that we think, the teams themselves have. So before we get into, doing our breakdowns, it's been 3 weeks since we've given power rankings. So if you'll remember, week 5 was the last set of power rankings that we did. Did we do them week 5 or did we do them week 6?
I don't remember.
I think we did them week 5.
I think we put out power rankings.
Even though we didn't do an episode week 5. Yeah. Because our last episode was our week 4 recap.
Yeah.
So we did do power rankings week 5, even though we were not on. We did not do a show. So over the last couple of weeks, these are how the teams have changed. So starting at 11 is Ball State. They stayed the same. They were 11th on week 5. And I'm just going to say the last rankings instead of week 5 every
previously.
time. Yeah, most previous rankings. 10 is Southern Indiana. They dropped 1 spot from our previous rankings. 9 is IU Indy, also dropped 1 spot from the previous. Evansville is 8, also moved back. And then Indiana State is 7. Indiana State moved back 2 spots. A lot of those shifts are largely due to Purdue Fort Wayne bumping up to 6. They were 10th in our last rankings, so they had started to turn things around a bit, picked up some good wins, one in particular over an in-state team. 5 is Valpo, so they moved up 1 spot. 4 is Notre Dame, who moved back a spot, mostly because Indiana moved up a spot at 3. And then Butler is at 2, and Purdue is at 1. So those are our Week 8, kind of the midway point of the season power rankings. I guess it's technically next week would be the midway point.
This is the divider. There's the non-conference season. There's a conference season. So after this week, we'll only be talking about conference games other than the MAC Sun Belt Challenge. But for the most part, it'll just be conference from here on out. Yeah, I mean, some changes there. Obviously, unfortunately, we missed a couple pretty important things last week when we were not here. Purdue Fort Wayne getting a true win at Notre Dame, and that obviously shakes up the power rankings. That's not the first time that a team in our lower half of the power rankings has gone on to beat a team in the top half of the power rankings at home.
Yeah, we saw it with Southern Indiana and Valpo
Yeah.
about a month ago, but a little over a month ago. But
makes it hard to figure it out, but
yeah, and it's just one of those things that that's kind of inherently caused Notre Dame to move back a spot, but then also Purdue Fort Wayne to jump a handful of spots, just because that is a pretty big win for them. It's not only a top half of our power rankings, but also, I mean, it was a top 3 team in our power rankings, but it was also a top 100 team. Might have been a top 50 team at the time. And Torvik, yeah, I don't exactly remember their rankings.
They were like 56 or something
they've
like
been
that.
They've been flirting between the 40s and between 40 and 60 the last kind of month of the season so far. But let's go talk about Ball State. Kind of give our baseline check on where they're at. Right now, they are ranked 309 in Torvik. That is down from 230
from the beginning of the season.
From the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
So they're currently 3-9. They're 3-8 in the non-con, and they're 0-1 in the MAC. They played Miami of Ohio and kept it within 10, but Miami handled business. They're borderline a top 100 team. They're a good MAC team, not the team that you want Ball State to play the first conference game of the season against.
Right before Christmas. Right before Christmas. You have 9 days off.
Yeah. But it also gave them time to adjust and kind of correct things as they head into a game against Earlham to round out the non-con.
Yeah, let's kind of talk about, so, I mean, we've got a lot to get through here, but, like, just as a refresher, like, we projected every team what we thought they would do. So we thought that Ball State was going to go 7-6 in the non-conference. They play 13 games in the non-conference because they only have an 18-game league schedule. So they play a couple more non-conference games. We did not get there. They still have 2 more non-conference games. One is on Monday. So
29th.
And they are going to play Earlham, who's non-Division 1. So that will put them up to 4-8 in the non-conference. Pretty far off from where we thought they were going to be. Honestly, I think that we thought we were going to see a little bit more growth from this team in the year. Was it year 3 or 4?
It is year 3 under Mike Lewis.
Yeah, we thought we were going to see a little bit more growth there. Just kind of let a couple games that they needed, like against Little Rock, they lost by 6. Like Little Rock is a 40th ranked team. Could have beat South Dakota, like at home, lost by 4. Campbell lost by 5. Like had some close calls, but really put up some stinkers too. Like lost to Lafayette in like 55-37. Like didn't even break 40 points. So it's been.
Sorry, no, this is year 4.
This is year 4?
Yes.
Yeah, it's been a little bit disappointing, obviously, based on what our projections were. Davion Hill's been great. Joey Hart has only played in 4 games. Like we thought he was going to be a big piece. Like that's part of it, right? So it's not just that they're they are underperforming, but it's not just that they aren't as good as we thought they were going to be. A lot of factors have gone into that, and I think we really thought that Joey Hart, averaging 9 points through 4 games, and then they don't have him.
Yeah. So it definitely hurts. We did still project that they'd go 10-8 in the MAC. That seems not very unrealistic. I think at this point, who knows? They could take that 9-day break that they had over the holiday to kind of refresh, reset, forget about what happened before the turn of the year, and then hit the conference hard. But it's going to be tough. I definitely don't think that they'll hit that 17-14 mark.
Butler.
They would have to far exceed our expectations of them in the MAC to be able to hit 17-14.
Yeah, Ball State's 308 right now. That's the 3rd worst team in the MAC, and the MAC has a top 60 team in Akron.
Yes.
So 2 top 100 teams, the other one being Bowling Green. Miami knocking at the door at 107. Kent State at 123. And then Massachusetts, Toledo, Buffalo, and Ohio are all top 200 teams. So looking at getting in the MAC tournament seems like a pipe dream at this point. And I unless they really flip it in the new year, like I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I think it's we talked about the potential of, is this a make or break year for Mike Lewis and his tenure there? I don't know. I think that things are getting scary. Things are kind of scary there, but
I also feel, I mean, he's obviously like a guy from Indiana, and I don't think we really need to talk about like if he's going to be fired or not. But like, you used to think like, oh, you don't want to go through a rebuild like that often, especially like at a mid-major. Like that's going to be tough. But the way that college basketball is, not necessarily anymore. Like you might have someone who's got ties. They could build a roster that can compete if they can get people to buy in. You obviously have to have money to do that. So we'll see. I mean, it's not looking very positively for the Cards right now, but kind of a disappointing surprise for us.
Yeah.
But let's talk about our next team because we've got a lot to get to here. Butler, they are currently 45th in Bart Torvik. They started the season at 87th, so they have significantly improved on that. And that's one thing that we talked about at the beginning of the season is like this number seems strangely low. Like we thought that they would be, a tournament team, and they've started the season 10-3. They went 9-2 in the non-conference, and they're 1-1 in the Big East now. So we projected them to go 10-1 in the non-conference, and we thought that they would lose to either Virginia, Northwestern, or SMU. We got that right. That they would lose one between Virginia, Northwestern, and SMU. I don't think we expected Virginia to be a top 25 team in Torvik. That was surprising. So that win aged well. The loss did come to SMU at SMU, and then they picked up another loss at home to Boise State. So one game off there, and then we thought that they would go 12-8 in the Big East and finish 22-9 overall. How do we feel about our Butler projection?
I feel good about it, right? I mean, I know that it's where we were off by one, technically, but I feel really good about it. I mean, they lost. Their losses are to really good teams, right? They lost to UConn, who I think is a lot better than a lot of people thought they would be. Boise State also playing really good basketball. SMU is perennially there, right? We thought that they'd potentially lose to SMU, and they did. So I think that's on the money. I feel good about them going 12-8 in the Big East. I really do think that that's feasible. It does suck, however, that Jalen Jackson is out. I don't think he'll play the rest of. I'm pretty sure he's out for the entire season.
He had surgery on his ankle that he kept spraining in the offseason.
Which that's a big blow. But then you've got guys like Bizjack who's still doing his thing.
Stink has really stepped up in that spot. As replacing him as a guard.
Yeah, and then you've also got Jamie Kaiser, who's been a very pleasant surprise. He's as advertised, as we've talked about several times, when he came in last season and was unable to play. So, still positive things to go. 22-9 overall, I think is. I think they might hit double-digit wins. I'm not super confident that they'll be 12-8. I think it might be 11-9, 10-10, but it still feels good where Butler's sitting right now.
Mm-hmm. I was just trying to. So Torvik now has them at 11-9. Is his projection? Has them at 11-9 and to finish in the Big East. But I mean, really positive, like the way that things have gone. Obviously, losing Jalen Jackson sucks, but it seems like they should be able to get him on a medical red shirt, come back next year and play again, which would be really nice to have him in that system again. If you get Bizjack to stay, which I imagine he will. And then they had the scare of Jamie Kaiser rolled his ankle too and was in a boot after their last game. But I think in an interview, Thad Matta said that they expect him to be perfectly fine, and just kind of maybe like a precautionary thing, but just to make sure that he's okay. So positively trending up. I mean, we projected them to be one game better, but this is I think you feel really good. As a Butler fan, you feel really good. There are some surprising teams in the Big East, but pretty top heavy. But I think that they're in a really good spot for where they are in the Big East right now.
Yeah, for sure. The next we've got Evansville. They're currently 266. That is down from 225 where they started the season. They're currently 4-9. We did have them projected to go 4-7 in the non-con, and then right now, they're 4-9. They've gone 4-7 in the non-con. They're 0-2 in the Valley. We projected they'd go 7-4 in the non-con, so a little bit off there. They've just had a pretty tough schedule, right? They played Purdue, they played Akron, who we just talked about, Notre Dame, Belmont, right? Some pretty good teams. Those are teams that we kind of thought that they might compete with a little bit. We thought they'd lose to Oregon State, Western Kentucky, Purdue, and Notre Dame. Well, they lost to Western Kentucky. They lost to Notre Dame. They beat Oregon State, and then lost to Purdue. So we were wrong on the Oregon State front. Oregon State is just not good. But they're still ranked higher. They're not as good as we expected, I guess I should say. So that was a pretty big win. It's definitely carrying their record, their resume at this point, which is good. But some of these teams like Middle Tennessee, right, UT Arlington, Charleston, teams that you'd think that Evansville could beat, and they haven't. They didn't. So it's been a tough go. I think that we wanted them to go 11-9 in the Valley. And that's not looking great at this point, in my opinion. But
yeah, there are some tough teams at the top of the Valley. I mean, UNI is up there, Belmont's up there. I mean, Drake is going to be hard out no matter what. And yeah, I just didn't see them. I just didn't see them losing to Charleston. Charleston's pretty good, usually. I didn't see them losing to Charleston, and they got destroyed. They lost by 19. If I had known about what people expected Akron to be, and I don't even know if anyone knew that Akron, many people knew Akron was going to be that good, top 60, I would have predicted them to lose that game for sure, but that one was rough. That one was worse than the Purdue loss.
Well, and didn't they get a new coach?
I can't tell you that right now off the top of my head, but
I'll check.
They're dangerous is what they are. And so that's Evansville's problem in the past. But I mean, Ragland signed an extension in the offseason, so
no, Gross has been there for
seems like he's not going to be leaving, but I mean, this is pretty disappointing. Half of their wins are against one of them's against Ball State, who we just talked about having a not very good season, and then the other one's Oregon State, kind of out of nowhere, but they're also not having a very good season either. Yeah. And then you have two non-Division I wins, so they have a lot of work to do. Anything can happen in the Valley, but it just 1 point loss to Drake sucks. You want to have that back, and so I mean we'll see what they do, but Turnbull and Hughes, they got to get this team on the right track if they want to make any sort of noise and really compete and not be down at the bottom, literally the last team in the Valley.
Yeah Let's
talk about
IU. They are 19th in Torvik presently. That is up quite a few spots from 41 where they were preseason. They're currently 10-3. They are 9-2 in the non-con and 1-1 in the Big Ten. I mean, we thought that they would go 2-2 between Marquette, K-State, Kentucky, and Louisville, and they did. Right, 9-2 is where we actually had them, and that's where they ended up, which is really good. That's what you like to see. The big stain on their record right now is that Minnesota game, right? Playing Minnesota at the Barn is always going to be tough, especially for Indiana. There's a curse over the Barn. But right? The conference, we thought 13-7 is very realistic. I definitely see them still being close to that. I think that they'll beat a team that they probably shouldn't beat.
Yeah.
But then they'll lose to a team that they probably shouldn't beat, and then it'll kind of average out.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking that they're going to go. I mean, hopefully, like I'm hoping that they go 12-8 at worst. If you go 11-9, because your non-conference doesn't really give you much weight as like from a resume standpoint, I think that you're going to be sweating it out on the bubble. If you go 12-8, you're probably okay. You just can't predict that Marquette and Kansas State are going to be. I mean, Kansas State's okay. Marquette's terrible.
Yeah.
Like, Marquette is terrible. And, you fought back in the Louisville game, but, like, kind of a no-show for 30 minutes. Yeah. Kind of a no-show for part of the Kentucky game. Like, if you have one of those games, if you win one of those, especially, like, Kentucky at Kentucky was completely winnable for IU. If they have that game, like, they're, feeling like good about their tournament resume right now. I don't think that they have anything that like says that they should be in the tournament unless they pick up more wins than losses in the Big Ten season.
Yeah, and obviously the Big Ten is stacked, right? You've got Michigan State, Michigan,
Purdue,
who is just an absolute force.
Michigan might just be the best team in the country, like national title favorites.
And then you've got Illinois and Purdue, who are knocking on the door of that, right? Like those are teams that you play both. You play Purdue twice. You only play Michigan once. You only play Illinois once, which is good for their win-loss.
Yeah.
It weighs down on their resume in general. You do have Michigan State twice. They're projected to split presently, so that's good. You just gotta, like you said, win more, and by some pretty decent margins.
Yeah,
I think you need double digit wins more often than not.
Yeah, I think part of the reason why they are like their resume doesn't have a lot, but the reason why they're probably 19th right now is they are blowing some teams out. Like they blew out Bethune-Cookman, they blew out Penn State, they blew out Milwaukee, but
Marquette.
they also Chicago State, they only won by 20. So it's like, that's a team you should be winning. That is literally the worst team on your schedule. Like you should be winning by more than that, but they've got work to do in the conference season to get a seed where they're like to be in a position to not sweat it out on Selection Sunday.
Yeah, and they had 2 weeks off as well.
Yeah, it's crazy
to really, work on things. I know that they've been working hard. Obviously, I'm sure they got a break, but also Jaren's going to keep them busy, keep them active, work on the things they know they need to work on, especially going into the conference, the heat of the conference season.
Like Larry Bird, let's move from Indiana to Indiana State here. They started the season at 242 in Torvik, and they're up to 217. So positive trajectory there. Their record so far is 7-6. And now I realize 7-6, but now I'm realizing that this doesn't work out here with the math. They are Indiana State. They are 7-6, but they're 0-2. So how does that work? 7-4. There we go. They're 7-4 in the non-conference.
Yes.
And then they're 0-2 in the Missouri Valley. So they just lost their 2 Missouri Valley games. We thought that they were going to go 6-5. We thought they'd beat Ball State, beat Eureka, beat Illinois Tech, and then split with Louisiana Tech, beat USI, and beat Alcorn State for 6-5. We didn't do too bad.
No.
We got the Alcorn State thing wrong.
Yep.
But they beat Milwaukee. Right? Did we have them beating Milwaukee?
We did not have them beating Milwaukee.
Like,
We thought they'd
pretty
lose to
good. Feel
Milwaukee,
pretty
and we
good
thought
about
they'd
that.
beat Alcorn. So yeah.
Like that's one better than we thought that they were going to be.
And it works out great too because that Alcorn State game, it was just a fluke.
Yeah.
And Milwaukee's a much better team than Alcorn State. So
Right. And it's not like they're in a multi-bid league where losing Alcorn State sinks your resume. Like
right.
It's obviously I don't even remember. I don't remember that game, and I'm glad I don't. But I hope that they have learned the things that they need to from that game, and then also don't remember it. But
Well, they went on a 3-game winning streak after that.
yeah, beat Southern Indiana. I mean, pretty handily. Then they beat Milwaukee in a tight one at Milwaukee, and then in a heartbreaking triple overtime loss. There was a triple overtime loss to Bradley, and there was just an insane buzzer beater, I think, to send it to the first overtime. And just couldn't pull it off. Gotta win that one, especially at home. And then Illinois State, I mean, Illinois State handled them. But I said early in the season that I don't know if Ian Scott will be the leading scorer. I don't think he will be, but he'll be the most consistent guy. Well, he is the most consistent guy, but he is also just their leading scorer right now.
Yeah.
And he's as advertised. He is as advertised.
He's the machine. The machine in Camp Swagner, just leading the charge for the 6. And it's also great. We missed it, but where was I going with it? Where was I?
We missed something.
Oh, Graves is back.
Graves is back.
Yeah, I lost my train of thought. I was looking at something else. Yeah, Graves is back. He, started to ease back into his responsibility. Is back on the sideline, which you just absolutely love to see. He's a guy that everyone was kind of pulling for.
Yeah.
Very scary situation that occurred with him, but he's back. He's seemingly healthy enough to be back on the sidelines, and that's a good sign.
I'm sure some wins would be good for his health,
Right. So, good things to come for the 6. I mean, they're
we had them projected. We thought that they would go 10-10 in the Missouri Valley, taking back taking a step this way to be even felt fine. Just said 16-15 overall. They're ahead in the non-conference games, which is good. And then they did lose their first 2 conference games, but they also played 2 of the best teams in the conference.
Right.
So it's like, okay, like, you're supposed to lose those on paper. Like,
and
you are.
And taking one of those teams to triple overtime.
Yeah.
So
It doesn't feel too bad. And then one, an away game the day before Christmas break, like, that's tough. Like, that's just a tough game to play in. So let's talk about IU Indy. I mean, we'll move on. They are 338. They started the season at 361. Their record right now is 4-10. They went 4-10 in the non-conference,
4-7 in the
4-7 in the non-conference, and 0-3 in the Horizon. They have played 3 Horizon League games. Surprisingly, I mean, they're really cranking them out before Christmas, but they have played 3, and they did not win any of them, unfortunately. We thought that they would go 6-5 in the non-conference. 4-7's, I mean, honestly, not too far off. They had they could have beaten LIU. They lost that game by 4. They were really in it with Ohio State. I think surprised a lot of people. And then, those were really the only ones that could have gone their way, I think. So I just feel like they're learning. They're just still learning the system.
Yeah. And I mean, the big thing is, it doesn't go without. It's not like they're not scoring the ball, right? They've got 4 guys averaging double digits, 2 guys who are knocking on the double digit door. Everyone's averaging, 2 to 3 to 4 rebounds, decent assist spreads. They're playing team basketball. On the offensive side, the big thing is just they're taking a lot of shots, and some of the shots aren't falling.
Yeah,
which definitely isn't helping. And then, just with the learning curve of understanding the system and learning that, there's just some turnovers that are they're gonna happen, right? As everyone's learning and adjusting. I think that's a big thing that's just holding them back. so far is they're turning the ball over, and they might get a bucket, but then turn the ball over the next possession and lose a chance to score a bucket.
I think if he can get bigger and maybe more athletic guys next year, like a more. Not that I don't think that there's like a problem with the roster. I think the roster is just not like fully a D1 roster, like full, being fully honest.
Yeah.
Especially
that's
because it's such a
too.
hard style to play. You don't have a certain level of size and strength. And so it's probably going to be fine. But like they played Grand Canyon like closer than Purdue Fort Wayne did. And, that's something. And it's a lot of this is going to be style matchups. But I think that they're going to be okay in the Horizon League. We said 11-9 in the league. I don't know that they're going to get that many wins. Like they're already 0-3, right?
Yeah.
So to only take 6 more losses seems a little bit ambitious.
I think 8-12.
Yeah. I mean, pull up what they did last year real quick.
8-12, maybe 7-13. I think improvement over last season is the big thing.
Last season they went 6-14. So I mean, if they can go 8-12, then there'll be 12 in season. That would be pretty good. We were obviously ambitious. We didn't know.
We didn't know what to expect. We've seen the system work at the Division II level.
Like I like the system; it works. But you got to have the pieces that are going to work with it, and it's obviously very like he had that system running with those guys for years, so it'll get there. But just a little bit of a tough one, and I think that they played tough games, like Butler, Ohio State. I think even going to Grand Canyon is very tough.
Yeah.
So some tougher games, but I think that they're going to get some ones. They'll wear some people down, and I think as the season goes on, the system will be stronger.
Yep. Then moving up north is Notre Dame, who is presently 79. They started the season at 64, so dropped 15 spots. They're currently sitting at 9-4. They've not played any ACC games, so that is their full non-con schedule there. We predicted 11-2, that they'd go 2-1 in the Players era. Well, the Players era we kind of talked about. They just got an unlucky draw, having to play Houston, coming off a loss.
Yeah, honestly, they got screwed. Like they probably would have gone 2-1 had Houston not gone 2-1.
Yeah, right. So that happened, right? So that's a loss on them, and then their big loss most recently, Purdue Fort Wayne, an absolute shocker. I will give them a little bit of benefit of the doubt. They were playing without their starting point guard, Marcus Burton. He's out for the season, I believe.
I don't know if they said. Did they say officially? I know he's out, and like I'll research it.
I thought that it was like official, but I could be wrong, right? So I mean they're close. You take out having to play Houston, right? You probably pick up another win in Players era.
Yeah, he also had ankle surgery. So
yep, and then you don't drop that one to Purdue Fort Wayne, and then they're right there. I still think there's a lot of promise. It's going to be really interesting. I mean, we kind of mentioned it in passing to each other. Is like there's a lot riding on the ACC schedule for Notre Dame. I think at least specifically as it relates to Micah. Things have seemed. He seems just defeated at some of his post game interviews, right? Especially, after the Purdue Fort Wayne game, even in some of his wins, right? He's just not happy. Expectations are higher on this team. I think there's probably a lot of pressure, especially with the recruiting class that he brought in. But it's going to be interesting to see just how things start to play out with them. 11-7 in the ACC. I still think they can do it. I think that it's going to be a lot harder now that Burton's out, but
yeah, that is going to be. I mean, Jalen Harrelson is really going to have to step up and pick up a lot of the slack here.
And he has so far, really.
Yeah,
like,
he has been playing really
first
well.
couple weeks of the season were like, okay, is this kid who
Is he
everyone thought
ready?
he? Yeah,
Yeah.
But he's been pretty impressive down the stretch to kind of end out the year. But 22-9 overall to make the NCAA tournament.
I don't see this as a tournament team without Marcus Burton.
Yeah, I just don't think that they get there. I think that they'll get close.
I think you could lose if you lost Burton for like the first 6 games. You're probably fine. Like you can still make the tournament there.
Yeah.
Because I don't think those 6 games go any differently. Like even the Rutgers game, and that you can probably have the exact same result through the Houston game, but then like they pick a really nice win against Missouri, a really nice win against TCU, and then Idaho, decent win. Evansville, fine. Purdue Fort Wayne is just a horrific loss. Like,
yeah, that loss is really going to weigh them down.
If they don't go like 15-5 in the ACC, they're not making it into the tournament because of that loss alone.
Yeah.
And the thing is that I hope is like, we have literally seen a fan base sour over a coach who lost to Purdue Fort Wayne before in this state. It has happened here.
Yeah.
And I just don't know if that's what's happening here, but it kind of feels like it, reading into some things that I've seen online. But obviously, those are the most vocal.
Well, I even talked to some
people who
some
are
Notre Dame fans,
mad.
and they think that Shrews is on the chopping block.
Yeah. I mean, especially now that like you don't have the high success of football, where like football was disappointing in the end, and then football season just ended abruptly. So people looked at basketball. They were like, okay, we'll watch a basketball game. Why did we lose?
Yeah.
Especially after like 2 good wins.
And I don't want to blame NIL because I don't know what their basketball situation is when it comes to NIL. Mm-hmm. But I don't suspect. I know for a fact it's substantially lower than their football NIL, just because that's inherent. But like, I don't even think it's an equal comparison between schools like, I don't know, Indiana, for example. Right?
Yeah.
There's probably a balance. Like, yeah, football's probably gonna have a little bit more NIL just because it's a bigger program. But I think it's.
I just don't know why you wouldn't have more NIL, given that their football is so good and their women's basketball is so good. Like, why would you not want the men's product also? Maybe it's a thing where they're like, okay, maybe we messed up hiring Shrewsbury and we need to get the new guy. Then we'll invest. Like, we'll use that as an incentive, get investment then.
Yeah,
I don't know, but I thought that he was going to be that guy. That was that, thing that they rally behind.
And I wonder if maybe they're just, I don't know, the fan support for basketball in general since he got hired has really, since Bray's been fired.
Yeah.
Like,
that made
has
people
just
mad.
gone downhill, and I think that is just making it more of an uphill battle for the basketball program, I suspect.
And they are different he and Bray are very different personalities.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, he knows the area, so it's something to monitor. I think he and Lewis are our coaches in the most danger here this season.
Yeah.
And Mike Lewis,
Yeah.
those two guys need to win a lot to save their job.
Of getting fired for sure.
So let's talk about Purdue Fort Wayne, because we just talked about them a little bit here. They started the season at 194. They're down to 213. I think that the Bart Torvik had them a little bit high just based on their success from last year. They lost a lot though. Mm-hmm. Or I guess this season they are 8-6 so far. They are 6-5 in the non-conference, and they went 2-1 in the Horizon League already. So we're able to pick up 2 wins in the Horizon League, and their loss was to Oakland, who's very good.
Yeah.
Competed, with what, Michigan State or Michigan and Purdue. We thought that they were going to go 6-5, so we binked that one. We said they'd beat Western Michigan, Eastern Michigan, Chicago State. They lost to Western Michigan, but they won against Notre Dame. So, I mean, personally, I'd rather have a Notre Dame win than a Western Michigan win, but
right.
I mean, Coach Kaufman is it's like the Grim Reaper knocking on the doors meme. Like he knocked
Just
on
going
IU's
through
door,
Indiana
and then,
Power Conference
and then
teams.
Notre Dame. He's like, yeah, well, yeah, let's do a charity exhibition. It'll be great. And then, yeah, we would love to play at Purcell Pavilion. It'd be great. We'd love to play at the Joyce Center. It'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, kudos to them, man. That's so awesome for just him and like the team to not only go and like compete, but like to win that game is just such a cool experience, because like when you see they're not a directional school, but like when you see like that type of thing, it's like, oh, I don't want to lose to Northwestern Michigan. You know, I don't want to lose to Southern Florida. Oh, that's a better school. South Carolina.
South Alabama.
South Carolina. Think about that one. No, wait, South North Carolina, but it's in North, it's on the bottom. You know, and people think that like, you know, you should win that game, but like Kaufman's been doing this at a very high level for over a decade, right?
Yeah. And
I think the emergence of CJ Hadnot, which I think is just a really cool story, has been awesome. Like a guy who sits behind the two best guards in the league for 2 years, and then clearly learned a lot from them and playing against them every single day.
Yeah.
Comes in, is now averaging 21 points. Like just a really cool story for him and Coach Koff. We have them 11-9 in the Horizon League. Very doable. Honestly, I think that might be a little bit conservative there, and 17-14 overall. I think that they can eclipse that, because I think they're going to be one of the top teams in the league again.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, right now their projections, according to Torvik, are sorry, I'm scrolling. Still 11-9 and 17-14 overall from the projections, but definitely I think there's opportunity for them to steal some wins. I mean, Detroit Mercy, they're projected to lose to. I just don't see that happening. They've got Oakland again. It's always going to be tough, but you know it's going to be closer because it's at home.
Yeah.
Youngstown State, even Wright State, right? I forget that Wright State's in the horizon sometimes, but can win one of those. I think that they'll exceed that 11-9 in the conference and 17-14 overall.
Yeah, let's talk about Big Purdue. So they started the season at 5. They're now at 9th, down a little bit, but I mean, doesn't mean it's a bad thing. They are 11-1 right now. They went 9-1 in the non-conference, and they're 2-0 in the Big Ten. So we projected them to go 11-0, right?
Yes.
They have one more non-conference game that's on Monday. Scheduling a bold on the 29th. Scheduling a bold Kent State, like right there after Christmas. That's a trap game if I've ever seen it, because you can very easily come back after Christmas and just get caught. You know, get caught.
Well,
slipping.
it's like after Christmas before New Year's, kind of that like this
that
week
limbo
of like your mind is in a couple different
Doug
places.
Gottlieb says, you know, it's the one where you're like you're phoning it in.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that guy. That guy.
We thought that they'd go in 11-0. Their loss was extremely jarring, I will say.
It was, yeah.
Iowa State came into Mackey and made Purdue look like they were not. It seriously looked like they were playing a different sport at times, because Iowa State was just impressive. Like I think it said to me more about Iowa State than it did about Purdue. It's like horrendous matchup for Purdue. First of all, horrendous.
Yeah.
And like Iowa State, I think at one point was shooting like 75% from three. Like I don't know. We've seen them shoot 70% before this year, so like I don't want to say they'll never do that again, but I didn't expect them to do it to Purdue.
Yeah, I mean we know that, and we've talked about Purdue's defense is their weak spot. But ironically, Iowa State's offense is not their strong. Like Iowa State is a defensive team for the most part. Like they just were able to lock down Purdue's their defense.
Iowa State's now 9th in defense and 11th in offense.
Okay,
so they're just one of those teams that's just good.
Yeah,
like,
it wasn't that
good.
high. I don't think it was that high when they played. But
like, they shot 70%.
I think they were in like the
somebody
20s in offense. But
TJ Otzelberger, he's just a different demon, man. Like, he's really good, and obviously Matt Painter's really good, and I think Matt Painter to me is a guy who's like Tom Izzo, where he's like, honestly, not even mad that happened to us. We learned so much. Like, I honestly kind of wanted my guys to get their ass kicked so that they could see what it feels like,
Yeah.
And they handled Auburn, blew them out. Handled Marquette, blew them out. Like, didn't have any trouble with Minnesota. And so, like, you feel really good about that. Like, that is what people will say. The rest of the season, people will tell you Purdue's not going to win the national championship because they'll point to that Iowa State game and say they were running into a team like Iowa State again. They're not going to win. I don't think that's the case. I think Iowa State had a really, really good game plan, and it was a bad matchup. It'll be tough. Like, it'll be an uphill battle, but I think that's a thing that they'll be fine. We said 1 seed. That seems a little bit high right now because some teams that I thought weren't going to be as good are really good. Michigan is really good. Arizona, I didn't think that they were going to be quite that good. So they'll probably be like, I would say a 2 or 3 seed is my guess. But, I mean, I don't think that that's a disappointment at all. I mean, I think that's still national title aspirations and realistic.
Yeah, and I'm just pulling up their projections. They're projected to lose 3 games the rest of the season. Right, 15-5 is what they've got in the Big Ten.
Right.
We said that they'd go 16-4. I think that's. I don't even know how. They're projected to lose 3, but they're projected to go 15-5. Make it make sense.
There's some weird mumbo jumbo in there.
But I think that that's still reasonable. Like I think that our goals are still on the money. They're right now sitting at a 2 seed, which is
right
completely
in line with what
fine.
I think.
Completely fine. Like,
I mean, that's at worst the 8th best team in the country.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So things are,
which they're 9th in Torvik right now. So,
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
better than we thought. But I think that loss is jarring, but we've also seen a lot of stuff. And I think if if Braden Smith averages like 11 assists from here on out, he will break the record on senior night, I think. And if he averages 10, he'll break it during like the second game of the Big Ten tournament. Which I don't know if there's many things that would feel better than breaking the NCAA assist record on senior night. We just need Purdue to stop blowing people out so bad.
as long
so that
as
he
they
plays
do their,
more.
if he's close, they better do their senior night like ceremony after the game, and not before the game.
Yeah.
Because you want to be able to talk about that during your celebration. And I don't know what order they do. I don't know when if they do it before or after the game.
Well, it's against Wisconsin, so like they should be fine to win that game too.
Right. Right.
That's always the threat because their last home game before that is Michigan State. So, yeah, I mean, he's going to break it. I think he's going to break it, obviously, because he's going to play more than a game or 2 in the Big Ten tournament. He's going to have the NCAA tournament, and I think he'll break it. I hope he breaks it before then, so that way it's not like, in their heads.
Yeah. Southern Indiana.
Yep.
They are 342. That is down 42 spots from 300 where they were preseason. They are currently 3-9 overall. They went 3-7 in the non-con, 0-2 in the OVC. We thought that they'd be 5-6. So a couple games we thought that they'd win. They did not. We thought they'd go 1-1 at the Boardwalk Battle. They ended up losing both of their games. They were, kind of close against Incarnate Word, and they lost by double digits to Illinois Chicago. So That kind of, adds a skew. We thought they'd beat VMI. They did not. They lost by 4.
Close,
That
though.
was that was a little bit of a heartbreak, but they're still close. Like, right? We said that they'd lose to Indiana State and Butler.
Yeah.
They lost to Indiana State and Butler.
But
then they beat Valpo.
Yeah, when
which
we talked
I don't
to,
think we thought would happen.
Yeah,
so.
we talked to Coach Sprue, and he was like, said he and G were like, hey, if we don't lose to Incarnate Word and UIC, do you think we beat Valpo? And G was like, no, I don't think we beat Valpo if we like don't lose both of those games. So balances out, I guess. Would like to have seen them beat like a Western Michigan, but Western Michigan, like the directional Michigan schools have been causing some trouble for some of our Indiana teams other than Valpo. But I don't know. I mean, that one Division 1 win is against Valpo. I just want more than that from this team. I mean, I feel like this is one where we really had no idea who was going to be him on this team. It's just Habib.
Yeah.
He's him.
Yeah. I mean, Cardell's
Cardell's
close. He's right there.
Last year it was the big 3. This year they've got, a couple more guys that are contributing and playing more minutes, and it's like you've got a couple people who can actually do something for you in crunch time and not just one guy who's trying to do it all.
11-9 is our prediction in the conference. Do we think that happens? What are our thoughts on that?
That seems ambitious.
Yeah.
I think that this team's going to be scraping and trying to really having to dig deep to make the OVC tournament and get into that top 8.
Yeah, I think so, unfortunately.
I mean, they're 20 spots from the bottom of all of college basketball.
Yeah.
They're currently second to last in the OVC. Only 3 spots behind Little Rock, but 30 spots behind Eastern Illinois. So, and Eastern Illinois is 8th. So it's gonna be a tough ask. The Morehead State, who they played already, is the second best team in the league, and Little Rock is just right there above them. So
yeah. I mean, and they took Morehead to overtime.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's some promise. I think that 11-9 is ambitious, but I think 8 wins, 8 conference wins.
Mm-hmm. 9-11, you feel really good.
Yeah, 8-12, 9-11, somewhere in there. I think is where they probably realistically will be. I do think they've got a lot of time to, figure things out, which their whole staff is invested in doing for them. So let's talk about Valpo. They are 207, up from 284 where they started the season. They're 6-6 overall, 6-5 in the non-con, 0-1 in the Valley. We said they'd be 6-5 in the non-con. We said they'd beat Southern Indiana, Nicholls State, Eastern Illinois, Bryant, and Western Michigan. Well, they lost to Southern Indiana, who we thought that they'd beat. But then they... who'd they win against? Cleveland State. We thought Cleveland State would be a little better than they are. They're just not that good. And Valpo handled business there. So 1-for-1 swap. Still right where we thought they'd be. I think that's promising. We said 10-10 in the MAC or in the MVC in the Valley. So
and they absolutely should have beat Marquette.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. 100%.
That one felt like another one where they got jobbed by the refs, which is exactly what happened when.
Didn't Pettigrew get hurt and then? Or was it Whitaker?
Cheney fouled out.
Cheney and Pettigrew, I think, fouled out. Or no, Cheney and Whitaker fouled out, I think.
Something like
and
that.
Pettigrew got hurt.
And then, JT Pettigrew, he was like cramping.
Yeah.
And after he was like scored like 15 straight points or something.
Yeah.
And he was going off. So they lost.
Eat more bananas.
Yeah. They lost Cheney and Pettigrew, and that was like 75% of their scoring in that game. They got screwed by the refs. It's the second year in a row we've watched a Big East team beat an Indiana team because of the refs. just like last year with Southern Indiana. They were fouling for sure. They should have won that game. I mean, it's not going to matter in the grand scheme of things, but like that would have been a really nice one to have. Like you lose to them by 3, you lose to UNC Wilmington by 3. Those teams are the same level wise.
Yeah.
But like this team lost to Murray State at home by 6, and like that feels fine. Like Murray State is 100 spots better than you in Torvik, and you could have won that. You absolutely could have won that game. And your team's best player's very young. Like,
Yeah, literally a freshman.
yeah. So, I mean, I think this team's going to be a team that is like in the top half of the Valley. And I think that feels pretty good. That would probably put them around 10-10 in the Valley. I think that they might go above that, honestly.
I think it's realistic. I do think that they are one of the better teams in the Valley.
I mean, I think the top
They have
is
the
like
ability to be one of
very
the better
top
teams.
heavy.
Yeah.
Like you and I,
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
Murray, like very top heavy, but they've shown that they can play with Murray State. They got to play with somebody hard on the road, but we'll see. I think that they're gonna be just fine, and I think 10-10 is realistic. I think that they might go 11-9 and really just show out. But yeah, I mean, I feel like this one was like, obviously we got the non-conference record correct, but I think this one was probably the biggest surprise to us is that they were so good, so quick. It was like they, normally you look at this schedule and you're like, they should have played 3 non-D1s by now, 2 or 3. They've only played 1 and they're still 6-5.
Yeah.
That is what makes their 6-5 feel really good to me.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Well, we're going to go ahead and skip Chitwood. We've skipped our Hickory team of the week.
Yeah. 3
Just
games.
because
I don't know.
3 games can't really.
We'd have to do
Small
3
sample size,
player of the non-conference, team of the non. If there was
Yeah.
team of the non-conference, I feel like my vote would be Valpo just because they've been or Butler, because they were surprising.
Yeah.
Purdue was supposed to be that good,
Yeah. But we'll there's a lot of games this week.
Yeah. Some teams are playing 3 games,
Yeah.
3 league games.
A
Man.
lot
It's
of
a horrible way to come
conference season
back.
has started. Lots of time off for a lot of teams. So we'll kind of highlight a few games that stand out to us. I think a big one for me is going to be Butler Villanova.
Yep.
That's on the 3rd. That's what is that? That's Saturday. So it's a noon game. It's going to be really interesting. I mean, Villanova is just one of those teams that is always, very competitive. It's Butler's second. No, they've played two big.
They're 1-1.
Yeah.
They're 1-1.
Yeah. So, good opportunity for Butler to start off the new year strong, getting a league win, especially having lost Jalen Jackson so recently. That's a big one. And then Valpo UIC, that to me too. Just sticking with Valpo. That's going to be a big game. That game is on. I took my glasses off, so I can't see what a fool. January 4th, so Sunday at 5 p.m. That is at the Arc. So, good way to get a win in the conference win in front of the home crowd.
I think just Indiana State's entire week is absolutely brutal. They have 3 games, and they start at home against Belmont, where they're 7-point underdogs. That's tough. That's on Monday, the 29th. Right? That's 29th. Yeah. So that's their Monday, and then they have to go on the first on Thursday, and they play at Northern Iowa, who's one of the best teams in the conference. They're 14.5-point underdogs, a true road game. The team who's probably going to win your league is incredibly difficult, and then they follow that up with on Saturday.
Sunday.
Oh yeah, sorry, I was looking at the wrong team. On Sunday at Drake, so I assume they're not going home. They go to Drake, where they're also 7.5-point underdogs. That is an absolutely brutal week. If you can come out of this week 2-1, I think that this team has so much positive momentum. So I think going 2-1 in these games would be a huge win.
Yeah, I think at minimum 1-2.
Yeah, trying not to. If you lose all three, like I mean, that's the expected result. But like,
Yeah.
you got to win one. If you feel
I
two,
think
like
even
you're so
even
happy.
taking one, and like handily winning one of those games, I think is going to be a positive for them. But definitely going 2-1. Definitely 2-1. You're feeling really good.
Butler does their Notre Dame does their West Coast trip. They go to Stanford and then to Cal. I just want to see what this team looks like without Marcus Burton. So hopefully they come out of that 2-0.
They're projected to lose both games by 4.5.
Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, we'll see what they worked on while on break without their point guard and who's gonna really step up in that regard. But that's important. And then I think PFW has a good week. They have Cleveland State, who's not very good. They're 12.5-point favorites. That's on Sunday. I'm going in the opposite order. I'm sorry.
Milwaukee on the 29th.
And then they've got at home versus Green Bay on the 6th. We're on the 1st where they're 6-point favorites. So they are underdogs at Milwaukee, but I think that they can come out of this week 3-0. Absolutely.
I definitely think it's realistic. Milwaukee, I think, is the scariest one for sure.
Yeah.
But
it's not a game that they can't win. Like, they can win on the road.
Right. Absolutely. That's, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's a very busy week.
Yeah.
It's a very busy week.
A lot of games. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games on Monday. 1, 2 games on Tuesday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games on Wednesday.
Yeah, and then we've got we're gonna be locked. Like, honestly, I apologize to Southern Indiana and most of the half of the Evansville game. College football playoffs going on, man. Like, I'm not tuning in live on the 1st. I'm sorry. But yeah, I mean, it's a busy week. Just get locked into basketball. We will be back every week, barring something crazy. That was a weird 3 weeks off that we had. Yeah. We'll be back. It was just 3 things that never happened 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
It's bad roads. Sick anniversary. I don't have another anniversary for the rest of the season, so we'll be all right.
True. And then 49 other states, right? Not a whole lot to touch on. The big surprise is Michigan being number 1, UConn being 2. I think are 2 huge surprises for me. Didn't expect UConn to really be. Thought they'd be top 10. I thought they'd
be good, but not
number 2
good.
team in the country.
I mean, St. John's was supposed to be the best team in the Big East, and they're not even in the top 15.
18 in Torvik.
Yeah. So that's surprising. I mean, Michigan, could this be the year that the Big Ten gets a national championship? You got, obviously Michigan's the favorite, but you do have I don't think Iowa is national championship ready with Ben McCollum, but they're in the mix. They're top 20.
Mm-hmm.
They're 18th.
Purdue and Illinois right there.
Purdue, Illinois, Michigan State's 12th, Illinois 10th, Purdue 9th. You've got the potential for sure.
Shoot, you've got Nebraska, who's 12-0 for the first time ever.
Yeah, honestly, dude. Honestly, I just hope Nebraska. Maybe it's Nebraska. Maybe they go from winning 0 NCAA tournament games ever to 6 in a row. It could happen.
It's definitely not outside of the realm of possibility. There's a non-zero chance, but I mean, yeah, things are interesting. I think it's what makes things exciting. I'm pleasantly surprised at Iowa. I like Ben McCollum.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think he'd be that good that fast.
He just always wins. Yeah. That's what he does.
Yeah.
Let's just do the guess the game and we'll get out of here. We've kept people a long time. Let's try and maybe
it's our shortest episode so far this season.
I know what I'm saying. Maybe that's my New Year's resolution is to get out of here in under 75 minutes.
Yeah. Right.
I'll let you go first here.
So I'm giving you my clue first.
Yeah, I will guess first.
All right, Adam. So this week's Guess the Game. were Seeing Red with Birds in the Trees.
Seeing Red with Birds in the Trees. I'm stuck between Indiana State being the trees, and I'm stuck between Stanford as the other team. Because Stanford's the cardinal, which is obviously a big tree. Seeing Red, the birds in the trees.
Yes.
Is it like? I'm just gonna go. The red makes me think red, and then Stanford Cardinal. I'm gonna go Boston College Stanford is my guess.
You're half right. It is the Louisville Cardinals at the Stanford Cardinal. Louisville at
I see it now.
Stanford. Both red. Both cardinal.
Right.
Cardinal red, right? A shade of red.
And Cardinals are red.
Yeah, both primary colors of the schools are red. Birds being the Cardinals, trees being the Cardinal.
Is Boston College just the Eagles?
I believe Boston College is the Eagles. But that game is Friday, January 2nd at 8 p.m.
January 2nd. Yeah. Boston College. Just the Eagles. Hey, I had a bird.
Yeah.
Bird,
Yeah.
right conference.
I was hoping that red would get you to red colored mascot.
It should have, but honestly, I'm still so messed up on Louisville being in the ACC.
You mean Stanford being in the ACC?
Both.
Louisville's been in the ACC forever.
Yeah, but not the old. Bring it back to they should be in the Big Ten, man. They should be in the Big. That's a Big Ten team if I've ever seen one.
I thought that.
But I was like, it has to. Well, I was thinking it was like, one of the Illinois schools. In the Valley.
Oh, like Illinois State.
Yeah, right. Aren't they a bird?
Yeah, they're yeah. I think they're also Cardinals. No, they're the Redbirds.
That's why I was like,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
But so it was a toss up. That was a good one. All right, you ready for mine?
Yes.
All right, my basketball trivia is just a question this week. Will the Space Needle fit inside the kennel?
Okay. So the kennel is Gonzaga. The Space Needle. I mean, I guess that'd be Seattle. Is it? But is there another? Is it Seattle at Gonzaga?
It is Seattle at Gonzaga. Seattle goes to Gonzaga at 9 p.m. on Friday, January 2nd.
See, this week is hard because it was Seattle in the West Coast Conference? Mm-hmm. Okay. For some reason,
Seattle's on the West Coast, man.
Yeah, but
we know they're not in the Pac-12.
That's true. But I wasn't sure if they were like the Mountain West for some reason.
They do have a mountain in Seattle,
right? So I started to overthink it because I was like, wait a minute, is Seattle is this a non-conference game? Because there still are some non-conference games, but also, is there another team in Seattle other than Seattle?
It's true. I was considering doing.
Then saying the kennel just like told me, okay, it's Gonzaga.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say something about dog, but I was like, I'll just say the kennel. I was considering there was a Portland game, but they're the Pilots.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I do know that purely because of Guess the Game.
Yeah, so I was like, if he remembers that, he might get it. But then I was like
Pilots of the Pacific or something like that. It was just Portland at Pacific or something.
Yep.
I don't know. All right, got one on the board. Current standings, I am 2-4.
Yeah.
Adam is 1-5.
Hey, that's all that matters. At least if we had half points, the standings would be crazy. Who even knows? I will never advocate for half points, though.
I will always advocate for half points.
Why? You just got a full point, man. You shouldn't.
Yeah, but I could be like, we would both have. I think it'd be interesting to see how it would differ.
You know what? You start tracking half points from now on, and you just don't tell me. You just don't tell me.
All right. Well, that is the end of our show. We do want to wish everyone a belated Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays for anyone that celebrates Hanukkah. And I believe Kwanzaa is coming up.
Kwanzaa was the day after Christmas, I think.
Was it?
Same day as Boxing Day.
Anyone that celebrates Boxing Day.
If you're Canadian and you're here, you're a true sicko.
For real. We love it.
You're a true sicko.
We love it. But nonetheless, for everyone, Happy New Year. We will see you all in 2026. But the clock is showing quadruple zeros, so it's time for us to get out of here. Thanks for checking into the State of Basketball podcast. We will see you next time. And remember, in 49 states,
it's just basketball.